We are live. What's up, guys? Today we got a very special interview. We got the one, the only, our favorite MILF next door, Sara Jay, joining us. Welcome, Sara.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. So I want to start off by asking you, you're an OG in the porn game. Like I remember I was watching one of your interviews a few days ago, and you mentioned that when you first got to the porn game, you basically put all your stuff on a floppy disk.
Yeah. That's one of the few things that I have left from the beginning of time. But I literally had my husband take pictures of me with lingerie on and then naked. And we took them on Polaroids, because you had to get film developed at that point in time. So you don't want to send pictures naked of yourself to the CVS pharmacy, photo booth. So yeah, we would take Polaroids, and then you take the Polaroids and you scan them into the computer and store them on a floppy disk.
That's how you know you're an OG, if you were basically putting your resume on a floppy disk. I think half the guys who are watching this don't even really know what a floppy disk is.
I know, it's upstairs, actually. I keep it in my safe because I think it's a relic. And I've made a little name tag apparently when I first got it. It says Sara Jay. It has my name on it. It's one of the smaller floppy disks, not the big one that, I don't know if you remember the big one. There was a big one, and now this is one of the smaller, hard floppy disks.
The hard floppy disk.
Yeah, I don't know how that
floppy. So what was that journey like for you? What made you, I know you said you used to strip before that and you didn't really like the stripping game. What was your motivation?
There was certain things that I really enjoyed about stripping, and that's exploring my sexuality and sensuality a little bit. Some things I never really played with too much before. And, I really liked talking to people. I had gone to school for psychology. I didn't graduate, but that was what my major was. And, it's a similar kind of experience being a stripper, to be honest with you. You come across a lot of people that have problems and want to talk. And so I kind of liked that part of the job. And then I also liked the part that I got to explore these other parts of my own personality that I never really got to. So I kind of focused on that because the rest of it was kind of shit. I'm not really super competitive, and it got sometimes kind of competitive at the strip club.
You gotta be a hustler to be a stripper.
Yeah, I'm a hard worker, but I'm not competitive or cutthroat or vicious.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not my personality. So it was, and then there was sometimes fights and a lot of drama and maybe police and stuff, and it was stressful. So I was what can I do where I would get to keep the things that I like about being a stripper and get rid of the things that I don't. And I was I totally don't have a problem with people watching me have sex. Not at all. That's fine. And I was in, Vegas at the time, and I started poking around and getting information about the porn industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's a safe way to explore your sexuality and maybe do things you just never even thought of before. I was totally open. What are we gonna do?
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get into swinging before that, or that's not what you're right to?
I was married, and we definitely had our fair share of threesomes and stuff. But I don't even really say that we swung too much. We might have gone to a party here or there, but not really swinging. But then after I got divorced, after I was in porn for a while, you'll definitely see me run through a swingers club, maybe.
I did that when I was in my early mid-20s. So, when I used to live in LA, I used to go to a few swinger parties. I haven't done that.
I did it in my early 30s, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know you're never supposed to ask a woman this question, but how old are you?
I'm 43. I just turned 43 in November.
Cool. I just turned 31 3 days ago.
Oh, cool. 31's a good age.
I suppose we'll find out. All right, so let me jump straight to this question because I know a lot of guys are wondering this. Let's say you're a young guy and you want to get in the porn game. What would be your advice?
It's so cool now. Everything is so different. And, honestly, the easiest way would be to start filming yourself and putting that shit on Pornhub or X videos or some other thing, maybe doing some camming. That's a great way to get used to how you look on camera and feedback and getting to know your fan base and like what kind of people like you and what kind of people don't. But I know that's like camming is not necessarily something that every guy can do, but some guys can just sit in front of the camera and like jerk off, you know? Yeah, but like there's definitely like if you want to do that, you should probably start filming yourself. Like we have these iPhones that like shoot like 1 million pixels, you know?
But you need to have like a girl join you, right? Like, because I'm assuming that most people don't want to just watch a guy jerk off by himself.
I mean, ideally, yes, you would have a girl join you, but there are a lot of people that would want a guy to just jerk off by himself.
Interesting. Maybe I'm in the wrong industry. I can jerk off by myself.
I always tell people like the biggest thing is to be like totally comfortable with whatever you choose to do. Like be like, don't do something that you really don't like. You know, everything that you do, you should really like it. Like because you might get really popular at it and be asked to do more of that. So you don't want to be like popular for a certain type of fetish that you don't really like doing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're known for like the whole Milf fantasy. Is that like something you've always been into?
You know, like in my mind, I'm still like 27, but
younger than
in the way that I see it is I'm into like normal everyday fantasies, not necessarily MILF where it's like an age thing, but like actually full grown adults that run into each other on a daily basis and might hook up, you know, that's, cause it feels like just a little real world and like fathomable. Like you could, you know, imagine yourself in their shoes because sometimes you go to the bank and you deposit a check and the guy looks really handsome and you're like, yeah. And then, you know, like, I mean, different things. So I just like real world stuff. And a lot of the stuff that I produce for my production company, Wideside, is just real world situations, like stuff that happens, you know, secretaries and bosses and yeah.
Interesting. Do you ever like, let's say you're at the bank and you see a hot guy, maybe like me or something like that. Do you ever approach or would that be something you would do?
It's not something I have done very often, but I can't say that I have never done that. But it's definitely something I would do. Yeah. It's just like, it's so rare that somebody would be I'd be so attracted to someone that I would say something. Yeah, it's rare, but it's happened. It's happened. It's got me into some good situations, some fun times.
Yeah, I mean, us men, we definitely enjoy when a woman takes initiative because it's so rare. Like it's really rare, even if a girl's really into you. Like she'll usually like give you signs. Maybe she'll like hang out around like a little bit longer after she's done.
I think I'm great at reading signs, though. Like they're just not. In my opinion, like they're very distracted by like, you know, all the parts and all the prettiness and everything else and like the possibility of sex. I don't really think, I feel like a more direct approach is going to get you what you want. You know, like I would just let you know, like, hey, you know, would you like to connect? Like, yeah, for sure. Like I just try to be cool about it, but at the same time, like very direct, like, yeah, we want to know if you wanted to like go have dinner, like a drink. Do you want my number?
My OnlyFans, you know.
No, you know, I actually never do that. Like if I'm actually approaching somebody because like I find them like attractive or like I've got like some sort of chemistry that I want to talk to them. Yeah, like I try to be like real with people. Like, yeah.
I mean, that's like a big thing I teach is just be direct. Like, I mean, like, let me get your opinion on this. Like, let's say, you know, a guy comes up to you, right? And it's very clear that he's attracted to you. Maybe he's seen some of your videos and he just beats around the bush. He's like, hey, yeah, so, you know, or do you need any help with directions? And he's just like, how do you feel about that as a woman?
Oh, it's such a groan. But I also try to have sympathy because he's nervous and he does never maybe come in contact with someone that he's jerked off to before. So he might not know how to act. So I just try to like have like a little bit of patience, but I also will like interrupt him and I'm like, yes, I'm Sara Jay. You know, like, would you like to take a picture? You know, like, and I try to like be direct about whatever he's beating around the bush about. I'm just like, let's get it out in the air.
You sound like a sweetheart.
You know, I just like I try to put myself in other people's shoes a lot of times, and I'm like, okay. I try to be really nice to people occasionally. You know, I come in contact with somebody who like just has like a really horrible approach, and I'm like, no.
What's the worst approach you've ever seen?
Well, first of all, anytime when people badger me, like that makes me really annoyed. Like if you just like if you ask me if you can get like a picture with me or whatever, and I'm just like, no, not today. I'm sorry. Don't like keep asking me. Don't come on. Just that should go with like anything. Like when a girl says no, just be like, okay, cool. Anyway, and just move on. Like that whole like pressuring on the no is like the most annoying thing ever. So like a lot of times maybe I'm in a hurry or I don't look the way I would like to be photographed. It's my choice. You know, sometimes I go out and I don't have makeup on or like or like a lot of times I'm just like pressed for time and I'm like, I gotta go. Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, like,
or I don't feel safe sometimes too. That's the other thing is like maybe it's some like in a group setting, like maybe, you know, a concert or a festival or something. And I'm like, the moment we stop to take a picture, everybody's gonna see us take a picture. And then I might as well just set up a fucking booth and then we just do this. And I don't really want to do that. So like it's gonna just draw attention. So sometimes I say no, but you know, I just hope that my fans are understanding.
I'm sure they are. How often do you get recognized? Like what percentage of the time would you say? Like what is it like to walk around as, you know, Sara Jay?
Yeah, like all the time. Like it definitely changes on where I'm at. Like different cities are like different percentages, I'd say. But like every day I get recognized when I step outside for the most part. Yeah, like multiple times. Sometimes, some days it's like one time. Some days it's like all day long, just depending on where I'm at. Like if I was to like walk out of my house and go to the grocery store and like run a couple errands, I might get recognized like once or twice. But like if I was to like go to the beach and like a restaurant or a bar, it could be like 10, 15 times. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, like, sometimes I'm just like, thank you, have a good day.
Yeah, I mean, my YouTube channel like recently started taking off, so I'm still
I can't complain. I was gonna say I can't complain. You know, I'm very grateful for it. Totally. But it surprises me, to be honest with you. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people out there that know who I am.
Is it mostly love, or are mostly people just like nice?
Totally. Totally. Sometimes a little too nice, but it's always love. Like, and that's why I do try to be like super patient, because a lot of times it comes all out of love. There's been a few times also this year because people want to take pictures with you, and I'm like, this whole like coronavirus thing, like I'm not feeling like and so I'll be like, you can take a picture of me or whatever.
A picture of me, like
like I'll be like, hey, like I don't know, but I just don't feel like I want to be close to a bunch of strangers at this point in time yet.
Let me ask you this question: if a guy like, you know, say a guy sees you out and about and he thinks you're cute, is it a better strategy for him to pretend like he doesn't recognize who you are and just treat it?
That is the key. I'm not gonna lie. That is absolutely the key. That is definitely it, because don't like lie to me, but at the same time, just like, let's not talk about it. Just be you. And I want to just be me, because I want to know who you are. I don't want to talk about me all night. I want to know who you are. And I want to see how you are with me. And I'm hoping that you don't know that I'm Sara Jay and you just think that I'm this girl with curly hair at the bar. You know, like, because I would like to be treated regular, just to see how you really are, because I feel like that's real. Like, because I don't need to be like showered with compliments, like, oh, I'm so your biggest fan. I don't need all that. Like, I get it. I appreciate that. That's
I'm jerked off to every one of your videos.
Right. And I'm like, that's cool. I get it. But like, let's move on. Like, you know, let's do fun things and talk about what we really like to do.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, if
Yeah.
you're a guy who knows game, because I feel like, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but there's almost like two U's, right? There's like, the porn star Sara Jay, and then there's like the regular everyday running errands, like,
You know what's crazy? I think there's just one me, but I think that there is a part of me that that's kind of like tofu, and people can just put whatever flavor they want on it. So I think a lot of times they have like made up in their minds that like, I am the same character they see in movies, and then I'm like a housewife and like a hot neighbor and stuff like that, or like or whatever. And then I probably like, have sex with young guys all the time, and like my life is just wild and crazy. And sometimes it is, but like it's not. I'm just a regular person. Like it's not like things are. I think it's just like one thing though. Like I'm Sara Jay. I have this job where I get to have sex on film, and that's cool. But at the same time, like I still have to pay my bills, and I still have to like sweep the floor sometimes and do laundry, and I eat food. And like, like people sometimes want to like treat me otherwise,
They like put you on a pedestal, right?
Yeah, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I would actually just rather be treated, like appreciated for my personality. Like, to be honest with you, like I already know you like my body. Like that's why we're here in the first place. Like you wouldn't be talking to me if you didn't like my body or like, think I was attractive. So like, let's move on.
Right.
Like you already know I'm pretty good in bed. Like let's just talk about some other things,
So basically, you prefer, and like I'm sure like vast majority of women are like that. Like actually, I don't think I know that when a guy just like doesn't make a big deal, like he doesn't put you on a pedestal, he doesn't shower you with compliments. He's just like, hey, like you seem cute. I want to say hi to you. How's your day going?
Absolutely. I totally feel on the spot when we start talking about my job, though. I'm like, I would much rather just skip it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but
I feel like
not everybody got into this business for the same reason, to be honest. And I got into this business because I really enjoy sex. But a lot of girls, and there's nothing wrong with this because everybody gets in the job for the different reason. A lot of girls like the attention, and that's cool. And they want to be recognized for the brand that they've created and the work that they've done. And me, I feel more along the lines of like, I've clocked out and I just want some time off. So it's everybody does different things, does the job for different reasons,
Right. I mean, I feel like because you love sex is probably the way to make it most sustainable. Like, I feel like if you're just doing it for the money or like the attention, you get burned out after a few years versus you've been in the game for like 15, 20 years, right?
Yeah, it's 20, right? It's crazy. But no, I told you, you got to do what you love. No matter what it is that you do in life, you got to love it because it won't seem like so much work, and you'll have like this passion kind of driving you. Like you really, like I like creating images that stick in people's mind and make them horny. That's a turn on to me that I have that ability and that power to do that just by creating really hot sex flicks,
Mm-hmm. So what are some other keys to seducing Sara Jay?
I'm a big fan of humor, like be funny, like I can't take somebody that's so serious. I need somebody to like lighten my mood. I'm probably a little intense at times. So like, I like, always like humor, just, and nice. Like I'm definitely a fan of the nice guy. It helps if you have like some really nice arms and you're nice, but yeah, like I'm a fan of the nice guy.
Is that your favorite body part, the arms?
Yeah, like I think it is on a man, like arms and shoulders, like this whole chesticle, arms, shoulder situation. That's, yeah. If you got a nice shape, like a nice silhouette up there, it looks so good.
Mm. Noted.
Shoulder presses, chest presses.
Yeah. I mean, I tell guys all the time to hit the gym. Like, just getting in good shape is like essential, I think.
You know, it's essential on so many levels. And if you let me speak on this for just a second, because I've been thinking a lot about that lately. Staying in good shape is good for your health. It shows you care about your body. It shows that you care about anything and that you're like at least a little bit disciplined. It's like consciously, besides the visual appeal, it's like subconsciously a turn on too. Like to know that like you take time out for you, and you obviously have been doing a good job. You know, like literally when I see somebody that's super fit, whether it's a guy or a girl or whatever, like my thought is always like, you're doing a great job. And that's a turn on. That's a turn on. If you're already like attracted to somebody and then they also take care of themselves, well, that's very hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead?
No, I was going to say, and it's great for self-esteem too.
I mean, there's so many benefits. You feel better, you look better, and there's also like the cycle because people treat you a little bit differently. Like guys don't fuck with you as much, right? Like let's say you're at a bar and you're talking to a girl, like, the friends won't fuck with you as much. It's just a subconscious thing. They're like, oh, this guy's alpha. Chicks kind of respect you a little bit more. It's just like a positive cycle. And
it's not even about getting to like a certain weight or anything. It's about making a difference, looking like that you take care of yourself. You know, like. I don't know. I can't express how important it is to put some time into yourself and give yourself a moment at the gym.
Preach, sister. Preach. Love it. Do you mostly date guys within the porn industry or outside?
I don't really date at all, to be honest with you. I
use the word date very loosely. Yeah.
Okay. Like super loosely. Because honestly, I am pretty direct and I'll just be like, you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I would say I have definitely had sex with people in the porn industry off camera for sure. I wouldn't go as far as say dating though. That's probably like a step too far maybe. But yeah, other than that, like I've got a really nice tight group of friends that like I kind of get like companionship out of, you know, like we go to movies together. We might go have some dinner at a new restaurant or like whatever. And that kind of like, I compartmentalize my relationship thing, but like I kind of get like that done by my friends. I've got a nice group of friends that like, you know, we spend a lot of time together and it's great. And then like there's a lot of sex at my job, by the way. I don't know if anyone told you.
Really?
So many people have sex at my job. It's crazy. So that really helps as well. And yeah, you know, it's a nice balance.
How do you
relationships are not really what I want.
I mean, I can relate to that. How do you mostly meet guys? Is it like, do you fuck with dating apps at all?
So they kicked me off. Like I did get on Tinder because I do like meeting new people and, you know, maybe just having a decent conversation with somebody that lives in the same city I'm in or something. I think that's fun. But like, I don't get that opportunity because I'm like Sara Jay. So yeah, I was on Tinder for like 6 hours and they closed my account.
Why'd they kick you off? Did you have some racy pictures or what was the...
No, I didn't. You know what? Like the worst was like a full butt bikini and it wasn't even like a full butt. It wasn't even like sexy. It wasn't a selfie. It wasn't even on like it was like, you know, and all the rest of them were like face shots and stuff. So it definitely wasn't that.
Was there butt crack or was the...
No butt crack at all. No butt crack. I think I might even cropped my butt out, to be honest with you. But I guess just because of the name, you know, like it's interesting the way a lot of these social media companies, you know, especially Instagram and Facebook, those fun people, it's the way that they label our accounts as like sex workers. So then like they're very like strict on it, like in yeah, I guarantee my name is flagged.
Because Tinder is literally a hookup app, so like, what would be so
wrong about it? I just get a little jealous of my friends sitting around swiping because I think it looks fun. I'm like, I want to swipe. Like, can I swipe over your shoulder? Like, can I help you swipe?
It's definitely a dopamine hit. Did you ever try like Bumble or Hinge?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't actually. I tried Tinder like 2 or 3 times, like for sure. But yeah, I'm also not like super trying to date either. It's like whatever. I just don't really have a lot of time. Like let's be honest here. Like I run like 3 companies at this point, so I don't really have a lot of time. Like I want somebody who can like come over, maybe I feed them, we spend the night, and then you go, because I got not a lot of time.
You feed them? You're definitely a fucking sweetheart. Oh my god, you're feeding these guys?
Huh?
That's interesting. So how would you go about like? Is it mostly just guys who come up to you and have good game, or is it through friends?
Right, referrals. We all, like I need referrals. Like you'd better know one of my friends. Like, well.
So you're like a dick referral, like, this guy's pretty hung. He can
no, for sure. We definitely do that. I'll be honest with you. I'll be like, yo, do you know this guy? I heard you might know him. Oh yes. How was it? Okay, cool. Just wanted to, was he weird? No. Okay, cool. Like, we give each other the lowdown.
Yeah, of course. Do you guys have like a group chat?
No, because it's like usually a different girl. Like, you'll come across a guy and you'll see that, such and such follows him or something. You're like, what do you know about this guy? So it's never like a group of the same girls,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I'm sure, like a huge comfort like level when when it's like someone your friend knows. So this guy's like not psycho. He's going to be at least somewhat decent.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know exactly what kind of human he is before I reach out. I get approached by a lot of celebrities and stuff too, like on Instagram. And even though like they might be celebrities, like I still want to know like what kind of human this is, So I always like screenshot the profile and send it out and be like, what do you know about this person? Because a lot of times, Instagrams, well, I don't want to say Instagram celebrities, that's not the term. Celebrities that are on Instagram, some of them I might know, some of them I might not. Sometimes it's like actors from other countries or like athletes from teams I'm not familiar with or like whatever. So yeah, I'll send out the bulletin and be like, anybody got any dirt on this one?
Well, I mean, I know one person that was interested in you. Quite successful, well accomplished. Might have been the first African-American president in U.S. history.
Oh, wow. So you bring it up right there. That was dirty.
But, I mean, like, he just basically followed you, right? Or would he ever?
Sorry. I fell out. Yeah, like, honestly, I may have, I don't remember, but I may have kind of like supported him in 2008. But I supported him, but I may have like tweeted something about it or something. I'm not totally sure because it's 2008, so a really long time ago. But yeah, he followed me and I didn't think anything of it and I didn't make a big deal out of it. And then all of a sudden, yeah, people started talking recently about it. And I was like, yeah.
Because when you Google your name, literally it comes up Sara Jay and then Obama. Like that's how I saw it. I was doing some research for the interview and I type in Sara Jay and I'm like Obama.
I think everybody needs to leave him alone. Like whether he followed me by accident or followed me because I was supporting him or followed me because he is appreciative of the work that I put out, just leave it alone. It's like, who cares? It's cool. I appreciate you too.
I'd be very curious to like see your DMs because you probably have the craziest DM inbox.
It's pretty hairy. I'm like so glad that Instagram provides you with some tools back there to kind of like separate them and organize them a little bit. So that's cool. But yeah, it's kind of a mess. I try to get it cleaned out like regularly, it's rough.
I mean, like how many DMs would you say you get a day from like random people who you don't know, like ballpark?
Maybe like 500, 400.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, like I get like I would say like a dozen or two, and I like sometimes I'm overwhelmed with that, but like 500.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, like it's I have this like whole process I do. I go through and I delete all the ones that are group chats first. Like, and if I see anything else, and then I delete because you can see that before you even click on it, and then I go through and I delete all the ones that are in foreign language that I can't read. And then I go through and I delete anyone that looks like a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. no underage kids for Sara Jay.
Right. And then I delete anyone where that's like a one-word answer, like hot, wow, sexy, you know, like
Right.
any of those started. Yeah. So it's like this huge process. It's like hard on your hands.
Yeah, that sounds like you got down to science. How important is the blue check mark, would you say?
Oh, it's actually pretty damn important.
Mm.
Yeah. Before I got the blue check mark, they were just kind of like really reckless with deleting my account, you know? And then after I got the blue check mark, they give me a lot more warnings instead. And what's crazy is like I actually don't even put anything like crazy on my Instagram. It's like super mild. But I guess because they've labeled me as a sex worker, that like they're really strict on my account.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of like, you know, people in the porn industry talk about that. Like, I know Riley Reid has been kicked off like dozens of times. Like,
Yeah.
she's constantly getting banned.
Yeah, I think I probably got kicked off like, I don't know, maybe like 7 times, but I kept on getting it back. Like if you just appealed at one point in time, you could get it back. So it wasn't really that big a deal. I probably had maybe like total like four different Instagram accounts, 5 different Instagram accounts. I'm probably on my 5th one, but I've had this one the longest because it's verified. The last one that I got deleted, it had like a ton of followers and they deleted it. But at the same time of them deleting that one, they verified my other account. It was my backup account. So I started basically anew, but with like a lot less followers. So the whole thing is silly. Like, why do we even talk about these things?
I mean, yeah. So I
listen to myself and I'm like, yo, this is so crazy. I'm like, we already discussed my age. And sometimes I think like, this social media thing, I was born way before it, you know? And I was famous before social media too. So like to have so much of my job and like what I do based on something that's like kind of irrelevant.
Right. Let me ask this question because this is something I'm sure a lot of guys are thinking. How often has someone without the blue check mark successfully slid into your DMs? When I say successfully, I mean that leads to, you know, an actual meetup.
Oh, no, without the blue check mark, never.
Okay.
Oh, the question before, was that referring to how important it is for them to have the blue check mark?
Yes.
I guess we could take it that way too, now that you followed up that question. So it's incredibly important. Like I first moved the blue check marks over to the other folder. There's multiple folders in there. You move the blue check marks over to the other folder and then I vet those. And then, yeah, so like the other people don't even get looked at. They just get like, go to my site, check out my site. Yeah, I don't, because like honestly, I want to communicate on Instagram with people that have blue check marks. Like there should not be nothing wrong with that. There's like a lot of people, but these people may be a little bit more interesting just because they, depending on what their blue check mark says, they might have like a cool life and, you know, we can connect on it somehow. Maybe, you know, or collab, networking. Like, yeah, so I don't even look at the other ones. These are like people that I might be able to like be friends with or do business with or share opportunities with or like, I don't know, or it could be somebody cute, like an athlete or an actor or something.
All right, so let's rephrase the question. So, out of the guys who have blue check marks, like guys who are established, like what kind of would you say like Instagram sliding in approach is most likely to work with you?
Definitely say something. I hate it when people are like, "What's up?" There's nothing up. Stop.
There's nothing up.
Right? No. So definitely say something, have something like solid to say or like polite and nice. I like polite and nice. Like, you know, you can always say something polite and nice because, for example, if you were to be like, wow, you know, you've always been one of my favorites. I get that a lot and that's nice. And I appreciate that. That's very cool. I actually appreciate that compliment and I'm going to look at your picture now. And then I click on your profile and I'm like, And then I decided if like how I would like to respond to you. But you just got my attention in a nice fucking way where I was like, oh, that was nice. But say something. Like sometimes it's like a lot of times it's just like, Zup, what's up? Like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. I need to know, like, I need you to make an effort, please. Like, make a fucking effort.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys, they're not sure, like they're like, oh, I don't want to be too invested. So then they say, hey, what's up? And then some guys are like, oh, I need to show so much interest. And then they send you a fucking essay.
No, right. Exactly. I need it to be just like a little bit more than, hey, what's up? Like, hey, what's up? And the reason for me messaging you is this. Like, yeah, like, don't just, hey, what's up, me? I hate that. That's like the worst. But, you know, you get a lot of like people who don't communicate like super well on Instagram sometimes.
I mean, it's definitely a struggle for guys. What do you think about this opener? Hey, I like your style. With one
That's
of these
okay. That's okay. It's not bad. I'm gonna like. I don't really think too much of it, but that was nice. It wasn't mean or horrible or stupid. So I'm gonna probably at least look at your picture. It won't guarantee a response, but like I'm gonna check you out.
Yeah, and then you know, once you see my Siberian Husky, the response is that's really like,
I like your dog.
Yeah, that's mostly what I get like on Instagram. Like even chicks who don't really find me attractive, like, oh my god, your dog is so cute, because I'm just like shamelessly using him to just like increase the value on my Instagram.
It's not a bad scheme, to be honest with you.
No, not at all. To change gears a little bit, do you have any? Because you've been in this industry for a while. Any like advice for guys to be better in bed, just be better lovers?
It sounds so corny, but it's just the fact. You just need to communicate better, like honestly. And I'm not saying like have a sit down conversation and be like, this is what I like. What do you like? I mean, you could do that, but that's really kind of awkward. But like definitely in the act of sex, in bed, on the couch, wherever you're doing it, you need to be like verbal and tell your partner what you like. And a lot of times if you're doing that to her, she'll do it back to you. And then you can provide each other with the best service possible.
So you like a guy who's assertive, dominant, kind of
like a little bit, you know, like I can also like, I'm kind of like a switch, so I can kind of do it either way, but I would prefer the guy to be dominant. I'm a little bit more dominant over women, so it's like that's where my switch comes in. But I would prefer a guy to be a little bit dominant. Yeah, like, and like I just think that you know, communicating in general, like that feels good. You know, don't do that now. You know, just like don't be afraid to communicate like during sex about like what you like, because and like I guess that you have to kind of give a shit first too, though, because sometimes I have sex with guys and I'm like thinking like you could care less how I feel about this moment. Like you are so concerned about your dick and coming or not coming too fast or coming too fast, or like, you know, you're so concerned about like a million other things that you do not even care what I'm experiencing right now. So like you first have to care, and then once you care, you have to communicate with, you know, the person so you know what they like and how that feels.
I mean, I'm sure
sexy, you know, like, oh, you like that. You like it when I lick on your, you know.
I mean, I'm sure for a lot of guys it's like a struggle, because you know they've been jerking off to you for years, and then they finally meet Sara Jay and they're like, oh my god, I can't bust a nut in 2 seconds. What will she think of me? Like, so it's like, fuck, you know. So they're just kind of in their head.
Right, I know. And like I said, a lot of times, you know, I try to put myself in other people's shoes, and I have sympathy and I get it. I would definitely rather a guy, just for the record, you guys, I would rather you come like right away than like not come at all. Because like if you come right away, maybe we can do it again. Like I'm totally all for that. Like we can do it more than once. Like if it only took like 5 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever, then that gives us more time to do it again. And this next time, you probably should last at least 7 minutes, though.
At least 7 minutes. Ideally 8, but at least 7. That's the requirement.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm all for like, you know, quickies. That's fine. We can do it a few times. It's cool. But my worst nightmare, though, is like me working. Like I've already enjoyed our moment, and now at this point, it's like me working on getting this out of you. And then like nothing happens. That makes me so sad.
I've had a lot of women say that it's almost like when a guy doesn't come, it's almost like they feel like insulted to some extent because it's like, what the fuck?
I feel a little bit like a failure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say insulted, but I'm like, damn, like, what could I have done better? You know, I kind of pride myself on my BJs, and I'll think like, maybe not necessarily what could I have done better, but like, what went wrong there? What, like, I'm like, well, he had a lot to drink. Maybe that was it.
Damn, am I losing it?
No, I get like super concerned about it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's funny.
But I guess I should. It's my job. Like, it's like like if somebody like if things don't work out at your job, you're gonna be like, damn, what did I do wrong?
Right. I mean, I remember one time, this was a few months ago, I had a girl over who was, she like escorted in her off time. Like, obviously I didn't pay for it. Like, I just met her the normal way. But, so like, I just couldn't come that night. Like, I don't know what, for whatever reason. And she was.
It's okay, but like, I want you to so bad.
Right. No, but like, she wanted to, like, she didn't want to leave. Like, it was like 3 a.m. and she's just working. She's like, no, like, you're going to cast a curse on me if I don't get you to come. Like, how does that reflect on me? And like, at this point, my dick is like raw. I'm like, oh God. Like,
I also don't feel finished. Like, I feel like this was an unfinished moment and it doesn't feel like we can close that chapter and move on. It's just a weird feeling for me. Like, I had somebody come over a couple weeks ago and we kind of did it all night and it was kind of awesome. And then like, he couldn't come. And I was like, okay, like, it was way time to come, like, like we went a few rounds extra, like it was way over time to come. And I was like, okay, go to sleep for like 3 hours, wake me up. Because I don't really want like that story. Like we're not finished.
Right.
Let's just finish this.
That sometimes is actually what does the trick for me. Like we call it a night and then like wake up an hour later with a boner and just start having that like sleepy sex, when you're like half awake, half asleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's like always been like a big thing for me.
That's great. And then you can shower and get the fuck out.
Right. Okay, so to kind of quickly reiterate, because I feel like this is something, again, a lot of guys are wondering. So if let's say a guy wants to hook up with the real Sara Jay, right? So it sounds like his two options are essentially, unless he has the blue check mark, is to be somehow associated with your friend group to get that referral.
That is great. Yes, that is very good.
Yeah, like through networking, or have a really solid approach in real life where he does not put you on a pedestal, does not say, oh my God, I've been jerking off to you for ages. It's solid, kind of funny.
Yep.
Direct.
Nailed it. That's it. That's my life right there in a nutshell.
Do you like party much? Do you go out to bars, or are you mostly just like a homebody?
Wow, things have changed this year, right?
Oh yeah, I think there's like a virus going around or something. I'm not really sure though.
Yeah, you know what? Plus, I'm also a little bit older, and like my life has changed, my speed's changed, whatever. I really like to go out to dinner and like maybe kind of stay late at the like bar or restaurant. That's my MO. Like I'll go someplace nice with a good cocktail menu, maybe nice wine list, some food, and like we'll hang out and then stay if we want to, or just leave after dinner. Like that's kind of what I do anymore. That's about it.
Well, that kind of explains why I've never seen you around Miami, because I'm mostly, you're going to nice places. I'm going to like dive bars and shit.
Yeah, no, I go to dive bars too sometimes, but that's like back when, when it was open. Right, although I guess they're open now, but do you know, are they open? Like, yeah, that's cool because it's mostly outside, so I would guess so. No, like I've been just busy at home and not like super pressed to be around people. So I go out to eat and stay late and have a couple drinks and then come back. There's a few spots in Brickell that are like outdoors that are chill. And I'll go to, have lunch or dinner and then just stay until I'm tired of drinking wine or whatever.
All right, guys, listen to that. So if you want to get Sara Jay, go out to some nice restaurants.
Pretty much.
And don't tell her you jerk off to her videos.
Yeah, not like you got to wait until like after we've had like a solid human to human conversation. You got to like surprise me with it. Like I've had people do that and I'm like, oh, you're slick. Like I've had people do that where we have like this really nice night of like talking for a couple hours and drinking and are like whatever. And then they're like, I actually know what you do. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, you surprised me. I didn't think you did.
I can see like a guy like just pretending like he doesn't, like right after sex and be like, yeah, I've actually jerked off to you multiple times.
Oh, don't say that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally funny.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, let's jump to some questions because they're building up.
Okay.
The guys are curious. This is kind of a funny troll question. How will you participate in Take Your Kid to Work Day?
Oh, that's hilarious, right? Well, I do so many things. Like, first of all, I don't have a kid, but if I did have a kid, I do so many things. Like, he doesn't have to come on set. Like, there's so many other things that I do.
Yeah, you have like a CBD company, right?
Literally be filing papers all day. Like, I've got like plenty of paperwork that needs to be filed. Like, there's a lot of different things that I do, and actually, visuals and audio of pornography is like not all of it.
Right.
I also have a CBD company too.
Yeah.
So,
that's what I heard.
like we can always like package up boxes and stuff to put labels on boxes. Super fun stuff.
Something every kid dreams of doing one day.
Right.
Miss J, in your opinion, what are the signs of a beta male? Have you had to perform with any? Oh, that's a good question.
Right. Like, just to define a beta male, like from what I'm always under the impression is like somebody with maybe less confidence, is like maybe physically and mentally weaker than an alpha male, I guess, right?
Like a guy who just can't like, he's like kind of stumbling. He can't really express his intent. Right. He's like a little afraid, Yeah. He won't be the guy that's like, hey, listen, do you want to grab some drinks? He'll be like the guy, maybe I can just get your business card. Right.
Or like just say hi and like run away.
Hi.
Yeah. I definitely have had to perform with guys that I would consider beta males. Like I would never shut them out, but or sometimes maybe that's their role. That's what they're supposed to be doing anyway. Like, that is like kind of like a storyline there, right?
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, like a nerdy guy gets a hot chick kind of thing. I'm sure I've done that before. Or like maybe a nervous student, finally gets to have sex with their teacher or something. That sounds like my department, But as far as like the signs, I also think pheromones play a part of things, which it's something that we can't necessarily like prove on a daily basis, but like sometimes you just get like beta vibes from somebody like, oh damn, I hate to say this, but I'm certain that you have like a tiny dick and that like you have no confidence,
That small dick energy.
Small dick energy, and there's some guys with small dicks that have big dick energy, but like beta males, they do have
and guys with big dicks who have small dick energy.
Sometimes a little bit, but that's not that often. Usually guys with big dicks are either like confident or pretty neutral. They're just like, whatever, I don't even care.
Full honesty, what kind of vibe do you get from me?
It's definitely not small dick energy, but it feels like you're probably like the jefe of your friends, like I hadn't, until you just mentioned it, like I hadn't really thought about your dick, but I feel like you're definitely like in a group of confident friends, probably like you're probably the most confident.
Yeah, I like to surround myself with beta guys so I can feel better about myself.
No, right. That's basically what I'm saying. I feel like you hang out with a bunch of alpha guys and you're an alpha too.
All right, I'll take it. it. Thank you kindly. Can you talk about what's going on? This is a good question. What's going on in a woman's mind when a man is experiencing ED or PE?
Right. Well, I can't say like all women because we're not all the same. But like for me, it goes through phases. I think I mentioned some of them before. There's like, like hope. You go from a moment of like hope, like you're like, I'm trying to do all my tricks. I pulled all the tricks out the bag. I'm trying to make it happen, and I'm working like really hard and I'm hoping that we can get this accomplished, And then like I'll go through like this moment of like hopelessness, like, oh God, I don't think this is ever gonna happen. Oh fuck. And I'm like, but I'm gonna give it a shot until he says no. And then I'm like, oh no, he's not saying no. And I'm starting to get tired and I don't think this is gonna happen. I'm like, I'm gonna have to call it. I'm gonna have to call it. Oh fuck. And I'll be like, babe, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm sorry.
No, I'm almost there.
Yes. Yeah. And
I
might let it go depending, like I'll analyze the situation at that time and I'm like, actually, I don't think you are. I'm really tired. I apologize.
Do you find it kind of funny how there's almost a double standard because, or not funny, but I guess annoying because like what you're describing is very common what a lot of women feel like they want the guy to come, and if the guy doesn't come, they feel like something didn't happen. However, if a woman doesn't come, that's almost like whatever, like type of thing. Not with all guys. Like for me, that's like a big thing for me, but for like a lot of sexual encounters,
I think that that kind of falls into what I was saying earlier about like kind of like just give a fuck. Like, yeah, if you actually care about my orgasm, like we're already like 2/3 of the way there. You know what I mean? Like literally, I just need you to care. There's definitely so many times where I've had sex with guys, and I'm sure part of it is nerves and like excitement and stuff, but I can see them either trying to come or trying not to come, and also going through like a laundry list of positions that they've always wanted to try if they ever met Sara Jay. Like, you know, and I'm like, I can tell that like they not even care what I'm feeling. It's at no point in time it's like, baby, you like that? Does that feel good? Like, oh yeah, girl, get it. No, none of that. And it's like they're literally like, oh, I gotta do it like this, and then I gotta do like that. And then, oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta do it like this too. And you're like, hey, I mean, not saying that that's the worst kind of sex, but you know, yeah, it'll never be as good as the guy who kind of like gives a fuck, like if you're gonna have an orgasm or not. And if you want to be really fancy, then my favorite type of guys are the guys that make sure they can control their own orgasm just long enough that you have an orgasm. And then the moment you have an orgasm, they're like, oh, I'm ready to have an orgasm too. That's the best, because sometimes it does take the woman, like, especially if a guy knows how to control his orgasm and the whole thing feels good. And he's like, I could come before, I could come after, it doesn't really matter. And so he makes the girl come first, and that does it for him. And he's like, I got it. That's my favorite.
I mean, that's like one of the hottest things for me, like when you and the girl come at the same time.
That's super hot, but now we're like, we just narrow down the odds. That just doesn't happen all the time. Like that's so rare, right? Yeah. But that's super cool. But like, I feel like the girl should always come first, like, because the girl's always going to make sure that you come. Like fact, like she's a real different kind of girl. If she does it, like after you've like fucked her really good, if she doesn't like help you out, you know what I mean? Yeah,
there's a book that's called She Comes First.
Yeah, I can. That's a great book already.
I have it on my bookshelf. So aside from, I guess, like, you know, giving a shit and making sure you have a great sexual experience, what are some other qualities a guy has to have to be like, you know, in your rotation, to be a guy that you will see regularly?
Yeah. Well, I hope this goes without saying, but I'm just going to say it, like an excellent hygiene. Like I would like to think it goes without saying, but like, I'm going to say it, you know? Yeah, like I need you to kind of like care about yourself, your smells, your cleanliness. And also like, I need to be able to trust you to a certain extent that like you're being responsible and like having sex with condoms and shit like that, you know? And I want to just enjoy your time with me too. So like you need a little bit of intelligence. We need to be able to carry on a conversation, you know? Yeah, that has to be said, unfortunately too. But yeah, I'm just kind of regular.
What kind of rotations are you like? What's like? How many would you say guys you have like that you're hooking up with regularly? Like, how are we talking? Like 2-3 guy rotations, 5-6?
You know, I usually keep my lovers around for like years and years and years. Like most people that I have sex with, I've been having sex with for like over 10 years. But I find like if I like somebody, I just want to keep them in my life, and I'm really good at keeping great friendships, to be honest with you. So yeah, and I don't know, there's a lot of people I know, you know, there's a lot of people, but some of them, they're scattered all across the globe, you know what I mean? But like, if I'm in your city and I fuck with you, you'll get a phone call. Or, you know, if I'm having a, you know, want to Netflix and chill, you might get a phone call, you know, but.
I mean, you're basically describing my dilemma because, like, in my early mid-20s, I traveled all around the world. So literally, like, all the girls who I like, you know, are scattered across the world. Like, if they were all in one city, I would be like fucking overwhelmed. But they're all like scattered. So it's like, yeah, the struggle. And I'm sure you probably travel a lot for work and whatnot. So yeah, the same.
Yeah, I hate to do this, but I am gonna have to go. I have a Cam Soda show tonight.
It's all good. Do you want to? So, how can guys find out more about you? What can guys do to kind of like connect with you, so as to speak?
You know, check out sarajlinks.com. It's kind of got like everything you want right there. Whether you want like video clips, or you want to check out my new toy, or you want some T-shirts, or you want to see my social media, the links are all there. It's a link portal, so it's sarajlinks.com.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll put that in the description. Just hang out for 1 second after we end the broadcast. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It's been fun. Let's thank Sara Jay for coming on. I think we got a lot of nuggets of wisdom in this interview. I especially enjoyed the part about like when we kind of broke down like what kind of approaches work and what kind of don't, because I think a lot of guys have this idea that like, oh, she's a porn star, so I have to like do something crazy, like I have to like, you know, be her biggest fan or something weird like that. But what you're describing is you like it when a guy's normal and chill. And this kind of goes along with something I've been teaching for just ages. Like, don't make a big deal out of it. Just be normal, be chill, and be direct.
Absolutely.
All right, awesome, guys. We have a video dropping Monday or Sunday, so definitely stay tuned for that.